We have the best listeners on the planet. Thank you for being one of them. This is Manny Perez from BlueSpruce Holdings to remind you that, one, as always, if you like this content, please stop by iTunes and show us some love. And two, if you are struggling with finding deals that make sense in this market, BlueSpruce has solid opportunities for accredited investors. Find out more by following the link in today's show notes. Enjoy the podcast.
It's time for the Creative Real Estate Podcast, your source for out-of-the-box real estate investing strategies, brought to you by realbluespruce.com.
Hello, I'm happy you're here. Welcome back to the Creative Real Estate Podcast, and today I'm feeling fantastic. And it's almost in unbelief because I remember when I first started this podcast, I remember thinking that 30, 50, or 100 episodes was almost not attainable. It seems so difficult to reach. But today is episode 100. And I really feel like we're just getting started. So to everybody who's actually taken the time to give us a 5-star rating, I want to express my absolute gratitude. Thank you so much. I mean, what you're doing for the show is more than you really know. As we get more and more ratings, iTunes helps put this content, this valuable information in front of more and more people. In addition to that, it helps me get great guests so we can keep bringing more great content. So a huge thanks. And by the way, I read them all. So we actually have 3 days in a row that we've gotten them. So one came in yesterday, the day before, and the day before that. So the one came in on Sunday is from Brandon Goot, and he says, whether you're a beginner or seasoned investor, everyone can get value from this podcast. Every time I listen to a new episode, I get more and more exciting. It opens my mind to different strategies and ways to get it done. Love the mix of investing strategies and the guests, large and small. I'm big on the mindset piece, and the episode with Coach McGregor might be the best episode yet. Keep up the awesome content, and thanks for all you do. Chris Lopez, thank you. Chris Lopez 5280 says, great to hear other strategies. Great podcast. Hearing others share their strategies is one of the best ways to learn about real estate investing. Adam does a great job at interviewing people from all walks of life. Bottom line, worth listening to. So thank you, Chris. And then we've got the next one from Admiral Solutions. It says, great content. A big thank you to the Creative Real Estate Podcast team, Adam, DJ, Manny, and all the guests. I look forward to hearing more, finding my niche, and growing my portfolio. These podcasts have helped me provide insight and direction. So that's the type of stuff we're really trying to do. Thank you to all 3 of you who took the time in the last couple of days to send us a review. It means so much to us. And if you guys want one of those free gifts, just let me know. I will definitely get you the Happiness is Passive Cash Flow mug. You could be drinking out of that every morning, smelling your cup of coffee and enjoying the Happiness is Passive Cash Flow life. Or we could get you one of the shirts so you can kind of sport that out at different events so people know that you're a real estate investor. Or if you want my book on real estate meetup groups on how to make them absolutely successful, then just please take a screenshot of your review and email it to me at adam@realbluespruce.com, and I'll make sure to get you some of that swag. I also wanted to talk a little bit about some of the guests that have come on, because we would be nothing without amazing, incredible guests. So I will give a few highlights, not all of the highlights, and talk about a couple of guests that really brought a lot of value to the podcast. So I want to start off with Justin Williams from House Flipping HQ, who came in on episode 3. And as we talked about the 100 plus, 100, yeah, I'm still stuck on episodes, right? The 100 plus fix and flips that he does every single year and wholesales. He actually has done a lot of creative real estate that has benefited the homeowners, the sellers, in an immense way. And I really appreciate him coming on and adding so much value to you, the listener. And to me, I learned a crazy amount from him. Kevin Amos, a great friend of mine, local here in Colorado, who talked about a lot of his strategies, raising money, and as well as doing over 100 lease options and subject twos in his career. We talked to Matt Terrio from Epic Real Estate, and he brought a ton of value, talking about his 3-option letter of intent, how he utilizes it, what he's done creatively to ensure that he's always making a deal. We talked to Allison Kirschbaum, who is in fact living in London, and Allison is actually going to come to our event on September 22nd, 2018. So 9/22. I hope you get your tickets. I'll leave a link in the episode show notes. So just scroll down and find the link to the event. And if you want, you can come and see actually Allison in person all the way from London, England. So that'd be pretty great. And we have some other really great people coming in. Tony Spandro added so much value to the podcast. So did Chris Tanner. Rod Cleef, an apartment investor with the #1 real estate podcast on iTunes right now, over 3 million downloads. He came on to the podcast and shared his mindset of how he thinks to do it. He says 80% of everything, all of your success is really just your mindset, and only 20% or less is the mechanics. And I believe that wholeheartedly. Episode 12, Holly McCann came on, talked about some really cool creative things. I remember Kent Clothier. He talked about reverse wholesaling, not just the regular type of wholesaling. He actually finds the buyers first. Gave us so much value. Man, when Igor Kajpust came on, guys, you'll want to listen to that if you haven't. Episode 16. This guy was pretty much 16 when he started. So he was actually 17 on the day that he started buying real estate. He couldn't even sell the property because he wasn't 18 yet. He came on with a ton of value, a lot of inspiration as well. Man, I keep going through this. Brian Ellis, Joe Fairless, Mike Hambright, Ryan Nickel, Brandon Hall, Victor Menashe, Jason and Pili Yarusi, a couple of great friends of mine, Michael Blanc, another friend and podcaster and multifamily investor, Trevor Mock, George Newberry. I mean, these guys are fantastic. A friend of mine, Mark Kenny, came on, and he's amazing. Brandon Turner from Bigger Pockets was a guest on the show and added a crazy amount of value. And I'm not even to episode 30 yet. And this is 100 episodes. I'm just so thrilled for what we've done, what we've accomplished, who we've brought on, and certainly the connections that I've made with a lot of you, the listeners, and a lot of the guests that have been on the show. So really, today is a lot less about content and more about me just thanking the world, thanking the universe, thanking you, the listener, for being here, for making all this happen. And we commit to stay with you and continue to deliver a lot of value. I want to make sure that we're helping as many people as we can. So if you could share this with somebody that you think would get value out of it, it would make my day. So again, this episode is short. I'm just overwhelmed with excitement, with gratitude. That's the perfect word for it. I just feel extremely grateful and humbled to be here. So thank you, everybody, for being a part of this journey, and keep coming back. We will keep giving you the best content that we possibly can. Until next time, when it comes to real estate investing, think bigger, think outside the box.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. It's our hope to add a ton of value to you. That said, BlueSpruce Holdings is excited to be offering investment opportunities to accredited investors. That link is in today's show notes.